ushindi kwa ukombozi wetu. Tujitoe wenyewe, tusimame pamoja kulinda uhuru na umoja wetu. Enyi Bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima. Tuungane sote, tuimbe pamoja, kuenzi shikamano hatima yetu. Tujitoe wenyewe kupambana pamoja, uhuru na umoja vitawale. Enyi Bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima. Tuungane sote na tujibidishe kutoa kilicho bora kwa Afrika. Chimbuko la wanadamu, chemchemi ya utamaduni, tumaini letu wakati wa mafarakano. Enyi Bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima.
We look at Africa, and of course we look at the amazing facts about Africa. Sometimes we don't know about them, and of course here at Smart Africa, we do promote this kind of information to you to make it easier for you to sit down with your children, with your loved ones, and give them a lesson to them. We learn more about Africa, of course, recent Africa, in comparison with Africa in antiquity. My name is Katom Mukasa. I'm a Ghanaian lawyer interested in issues, history, issues, development, issues, human rights, and of course, issues, economics. The studio is Hussein Baya to do the shows. This is Humanist TV Africa. We are registered as Humanist Media Africa to do the work we do to inform, empower, and educate. Today, let us look at 10 amazing facts about Africa. This is episode 20 plus. Over to you, and then let us have a look at what I have for you today. This is episode 21. Episode 21, Baya, episode 21, about the 20 amazing facts about Africa. So we're going to look at what makes Africa unique. Of course, go back into our archives and watch all these other episodes. This is episode 21 of the 20 amazing facts about Africa. Let us have a look at what I have for you in store today. When you look at Africa and the map of Africa, one thing that stands out clearly is that you can easily travel across Africa on a road map, using a road map. Let us continue to see this. Abaya, please continue to show these images. Continue to show these images. Here we see the Amazon warriors. We see the Amazon warriors that were in Dahomey many years ago. Women-led soldiers, women-led warriors, and how they used to protect their kingdoms. And of course, we see much of Ghana, much of Benin still having these historical people and sites right there. Let us continue to watch this and more. Of course, here we see the Eswatini, people in Eswatini, a country in Southern Africa. The people who love their cultures, just like people in West Africa, people in East Africa, they love their cultures, they love their dressings, they love their dancing. So amazing about Africa. When you look at the Zulu, When I look at the people in Nigeria, the Tarok people, the Maasai, the Turkana, these people love their culture. Yes, love their culture, and this is quite good to note. Baya, continue showcasing these photos, and I let people to watch. Continue showcasing these photos. Via there we see the traditional huts. This is how the homesteads in Africa looked like. This is how the homesteads in Africa looked like. A gentleman, the father of the family, would build a house, and because there was polygamy, that is one homestead, two women, a simple homestead. You have seen that's the palace. Let us go back a bit in the images Via. Yes, here we go back a bit. Yes, here we see. Yes, that's enough. Here we see the tradition of circumcision in Africa. Here are the Gishus, the Sebeyis, and other tribes in Africa that do circumcise, but also do female genital mutilation, which, as Humanists TV Africa, we condemn. We condemn humanists condemn female genital mutilation. In Sudan, as we can see in that chart, we see that in Sudan, among the Dorimo and the other tribes, actually women do build houses and thatch houses. The roofing is done by women. Look at how smart that work is. Women can do everything that a man can do in Africa. So here we also see the palace of the king of Rwanda. We just saw that palace of the king of Rwanda. Here is the homestead in an African tradition setting. Let us have a look at other images to see what's unique with Africa. Now, I've been talking about the ankh, the symbol of life, the male organ fused with the female organ. The female organ is above, the male organ is down, and in between are the ovums and the ovaries, which are fused together. And then we have a human being. But also in that photo, I leave it there, we see a sphinx. Now, what is happening right now as I speak in this year 2024? What is happening? Historical evidence is showing that actually the person behind the sphinx was not a man. We have been thinking about King Khafra and others. They are even saying it might have been an image or statue of a woman because of the shape of the face and of course the size of the features of this face. They are saying it might have been a woman, preferably a Cushite or a Nubian. This is why I'm showing that image of a recent lady there, and of course I'm contrasting it with the sphinx right there, which is over 4,500 years ago. Researchers are showing us that perhaps it was not even an image of a man. It might have been an image of a woman. Now, continue to show this research, and this is interesting. Of course, I told you that the Ethiopians say to have had the original Bible. Ethiopians are proud of talking about their original Bible. They said it was written in the Giz language on the goat skins somewhere in Ethiopia. For them, they say they are Coptics. They say they have their own religion. They say theirs is more original. We don't care here at Humanists TV Africa, but we give you these facts as they are. Of course, in Africa, we have leopards that climb trees. So don't be safe and say, I will climb a tree. The leopard may actually find you right in the tree and eat you up. Of course, we say that humanity began in Africa. Here is something like an AI imitation to show you that maybe the first man was in Africa, the first woman was in Africa, and we are taking selfies? No way. But we are simply showing you that the early caveman, call them the Homo sapiens, who happened to be there 300,000 years ago, were actually from Africa. This is something amazing about Africa. Of course, here we see Alexandria, one of the earliest libraries in the world. Alexandria is a library in Egypt. One of the earliest libraries in the world is Alexandria. We see it right there. And of course, we see how beautiful this one has been for a long time. And of course, together with that, we sing Namibia, the desert in Namibia, and how beautiful this desert has been for a long time. So here we see the Namibian desert, and of course with a water source right in between there. Let us continue seeing some of the amazing facts about Africa. Now, Africa also has something very interesting about colonial relics. This school is called Nyakashula. The school is called Nyakashula. It was found in Western Uganda. It was founded by a Scotsman. And of course, because of that, the students up to now wear a kilt and they call them skirts. They wear Scotch traditional wear to go to school now. Isn't that so? Interesting to note that people who were ruled by Europeans still continue to hang on their legacy. Now, homophobia is another high thing in Africa. People really are becoming too much focused on issues of homosexuality. This wasn't the case before. It has been increasing in the last 20 years. Homophobia is another amazing thing about people in Africa today. People in Africa were so welcoming, they were so united, they were so considerate. But today, we are seeing a change in attitude because of politics. There's a lot of hate in Africa, especially hate designed towards gay people. This is not good. At Humans TV Africa, we condemn all forms of violence, hate, prejudice, and discrimination. Of course, we see lots of media being gagged, lots of media freedoms being gagged. People cannot speak freely, cannot speak openly. Here at Humans TV Africa, we say allow people to speak openly, freely, without fear, and let them exercise this fundamental human right. Of course, we see Africa being one of the center pieces in the jigsaw that makes the world. And we see this image trying to represent that Africans, people from Africa, are all over the world and making their own contribution in one way or another. So something which is to note that actually wherever you go in the world, you're going to find people there that are from Africa, and they're all building the world together, making their contribution. In that photo, you see the colonial police in Kenya. Look at their uniform, 1960s, 1950s. That's how they used to dress, in the khaki, short trousers, and that was the police. And of course, the other photo is for Yoweri Museveni in 1982, 83, where he had waged a guerrilla war, and he was using young people, called them Kadogos, children, were used to fight a war that brought him to power. So the use of child soldiers has been common in Africa. We saw it in Sierra Leone, we saw it in Ivory Coast. Of course, we saw it in Uganda. We saw it in other countries. I've been seeing it where people use child soldiers. We have seen it in Sierra Leone. We have seen it in Liberia, and this is bad. Now here I'm showing you the youngest hoopist in Africa. One of the youngest hoopists in Africa, Traore there, one of the leaders. People saying it's going to be the next Sankara in the next Sankara of Africa. That Traore man there, trying to resist French imperialism. Right there, they say is becoming the next Sankara of Africa. And of course, we see Muammar Gaddafi, one of those leaders that left an indelible mark on African continent, trying to unite people of Africa to come together and fight imperialism, come together and fight poverty, come together and work as a team. That was Gaddafi. And of course, we see another young version of Sankara being seen in Burkina Faso. We have also seen coups in much of West Africa. We have seen coups in Niger. We have seen coups in countries that actually are not so much known for having peace. We have seen coups in Guinea in 2021. We have seen coups in Burkina Faso in 2022. And of course, we have seen coups in Chad, promising coups in Chad. And of course, we are hoping to see more coups in Guinea, coups in Burkina Faso, coups in Mali. These are the leaders of these coups. Another coup coming up in Gabon. We have seen coups in Central African Republic, and these coups are happening so many times in Africa. So we worry about seeing more coups. Of course, we have seen a coup in Niger, where President Mohamed Bazoum was actually ousted from power. We have seen coups in other countries in Africa. We have seen coups, promising coups in, of course, Egypt, and other countries. Of course, when I say coups, sometimes I'm talking about instabilities that are happening in much of Africa. So these are amazing facts about Africa: peaceful world, but also chaotic, especially in the 14 countries that were colonized by the French of France. We are seeing many coups coming up, people uprising. We are seeing Toure and the others, Chad, Senegal, Mali, and of course Burkina Faso. People are rising up against imperialism. People want self-determination. So that is Africa in a brief today. Amazing? Yes. Beautiful Africa? Yes. But also troubled Africa? Yes. Thank you for watching, and keep watching. It is Humans TV Africa. This was episode 21 about amazing facts about Africa. Please go back in our archives and see other episodes about Africa. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.